Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new King Los album, God, Money, War. King Los is a Baltimore rapper. This is his commercial full-length debut, although for years he has built up to this point with a gauntlet of mixtapes. He's actually been putting in work for years now, and he actually had a few recent appearances on the new French Montana record, the new Kid Ink record. Maybe I would have paid more close attention to his features if I actually liked those artists. But given the company he's kept on his recent features, it's pretty surprising to sort of see the angle that he's taking on this new album over here. God, Money, War, for the most part, tries to be a pretty thoughtful and reflective hip-hop record. And I definitely welcome that kind of angle from a hip-hop record, especially on an album like this where as he is tackling topics such as God and violence and money, King Los comes through with some pretty decent conceptual tracks. Tracks like Little Black Boy, which is a moving and incredible tribute to his son. It's on this track King Los delivers some of the best lyrics on the entire record. Then there's also the track Ghetto Boy, where obviously King Los lyrically delivers to us some very gritty imagery from where he was raised. And on this track, Los's delivery is just shouted, it's screamed at the top of his lungs. It's a kind of blood-curdling at some points. And the track Black Blood grabbed my attention too, not only because of its kind of morbid refrain talking about how black blood helps the grass in the ghetto grow, but it's a bit of a statement on gang violence as well. Although I wish the instrumental on this track hit as hard as the lyrics actually do. There's some very lazy, breezy singing on this track, some kind of in one ear and out the other piano phrasing. It's a bit of a poppy instrumental. And also I kind of think a very obvious statement on forgiveness, kind of being able to break this cycle of violence is a connection that could have been made, especially given King Los's tendency to kind of wear God and his religion on his sleeve. And while there are some tracks on here that do have some religious talk, paying a bit of a, I guess, religious lip service, notably the song with R. Kelly in the track listing here, also, this record loses its halo pretty fast in the second half, like on the song Blame It on the Money, where we get some quirky synth bleeps and the instrumental here, a banger club beat, and some vocal phrasing, just a flow that reminds me a lot of Tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. That was a throwback. And I don't really mind it. It's a pretty fun track, maybe not as catchy, but I love the beat and I like the flow on it. It just doesn't really fit into the attitude set by the first half of this record, especially with the very lyrical and very tender intro track. Even though this record does have a semblance of flow to it where, you know, we are getting songs of a certain flavor in the first half and songs of a certain flavor in the second half, it still doesn't keep this song from sticking out like a sore thumb and just kind of feel like King Los was following some kind of quota where he had to have some kind of track that had club appeal. And there are other cuts on here where I kind of feel like King Los, even though there are a handful of songs on here that do feel like they have a strong personality, he quickly starts biting the styles of other contemporary artists. There is an ethereal trap ballad on the song To Be Honest with a bit of R&B vocals. On the more conscious songs in the track listing here, there are some clear flow ideas and just vocal inflections that he's borrowing from Lupe Fiasco, from Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. And even on the 8th track here, I believe, the song Can't Fade Us, King Los does his best Childish Gambino impression. Even with the track Slave, I mean, not only does this track miss an opportunity to make a really bold and upfront statement about being sort of a slave to the industry or just to something, but also when he's not sort of double timing like a fucking badass in the second half of this track, King Los's inflections remind me a lot of like some old Lil Wayne. This record was okay. I mean, it had some really great ambitious moments in the first half that I thought were great, even if a little obviously influence, but then I think the record really kind of lost its focus and its direction and its message around the middle. While I think King Los has flow and he has lyrics and he has some great topical tracks here, he hasn't pulled together a project that has a strong sense of direction, nor does his personality come through that strongly on every single track here, because there are a number of cuts in the track listing where I kind of feel his influences more than I do him, and I just kind of lose sight of who he is or what he's trying to tell me or what exactly his sound is supposed to be. This was an okay project. It's definitely not terrible by any means. I see the hype behind it. I see the appeal behind it, but I think Los has a lot of growth ahead of him if he's going to be blowing me away on his next project. I'm feeling a light to decent 6 on this thing. Transition. Have you given this project a listen? If you have, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, King Los, forever.